On screen, China's slime. AI just changed the game. What's going on, everyone? China just dropped an AI bomb that nobody saw coming. Zhipu AI, the company behind the GLM series, just released GLM-5, a monster 744 billion parameter model that's trained on something they're calling slime. And before you laugh at the name, this thing is crushing Claude Opus 4.6, GPT-5, and basically every other model out there on key benchmarks. Oh, and it's fully open source, costs 6 times less than Claude, and is trained entirely on Chinese chips. The AI race just got a whole lot more interesting. Let's break it down. Section 1. What is GLM-5? First, the specs. GLM-5 scales from 355 billion parameters in its predecessor. GLM 4.5 to a staggering 744 billion parameters, with 40 billion active per token in its mixture of experts architecture. That's double the size. Pre-training data increased from 23 trillion tokens to 28.5 trillion tokens. To put that in perspective, that's more training data than most humans will read in multiple lifetimes. But here's where it gets wild. GLM-5 was trained entirely on Huawei Ascend chips using the Mindspore framework, achieving full independence from US-manufactured semiconductor hardware. This is huge. With US export restrictions choking off NVIDIA GPU supplies to China, Zhipu just proved you don't need American hardware to build world-class AI. This positions GLM-5 not only as a technical achievement, but as a milestone in China's drive towards self-reliant AI infrastructure. And the pricing, it's roughly 6 times cheaper on input and nearly 10 times cheaper on output than Claude Opus 4.6 TrueTech. We're talking about a frontier model that costs pennies compared to the competition. Section 2. What the heck is slime? Okay, so what is this slime thing? Because that's the secret sauce. Zhipu AI open-sourced slime, a novel asynchronous reinforcement learning framework. Let me explain why this matters. Traditional reinforcement learning has a massive problem. It's painfully slow. Traditional RL often suffers from long-tail bottlenecks, where generation bottlenecks typically consume over 90% of RL training time. Imagine training a model where 90% of your time is just waiting for the slowest GPU to finish. That's insanely inefficient. Slime fixes this. Slime breaks the lockstep synchronization by allowing trajectories to be generated independently, enabling fine-grained iterations necessary for complex agentic behavior. By integrating system-level optimizations like active partial rollouts, April, Slime addresses generation bottlenecks, significantly accelerating the iteration cycle for complex agentic tasks. In plain English, Slime uses an asynchronous architecture that pairs the Megatron training framework with the SG-Lang inference engine. It decouples the slow parts from the fast parts, so your GPUs are always working instead of sitting idle. Post-training involved producing 3,000 to 6,000 messages per run. That's 60 to 100 million output tokens, honing long-range planning and tool use at a scale that was previously impossible. And here's the kicker. Slime supports Qwen 3, DeepSeek 5.3, and Llama 3 in addition to Zhipu's own models. They open-sourced it. That means anyone can use this framework to train better models faster. Section 3. The benchmarks. Crushing the competition. All right, enough theory. How does GLM-5 actually perform? Spoiler alert, it's dominating. Coding benchmarks. GLM-5 pushes SWE bench scores from 73.8% to 77.8%. It achieves best-in-class open-source scores on SWE Bench and Terminal Bench 2.0, surpassing Gemini 3.0 Pro. For context, SWE Bench tests if an AI can actually fix real GitHub issues from major projects. GLM-5 is solving nearly 80% of them. Hallucination resistance. This is where GLM-5 absolutely destroys the competition. GLM5 achieves a score of -1 on the AA Omniscience Index, representing a massive 35-point improvement over its predecessor. GLM5 now leads the entire AI industry, including US competitors like Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic, in knowledge reliability by knowing when to abstain rather than fabricate information. That's right, it beats GPT-5 and Claude Opus at not making stuff up. Agentic tasks, GLM5 scores number 1 among open source models on BrowseComp at 75.9, which tests web research and information synthesis. On Humanity's last exam, it hit 50.4%, surpassing both GPT 5.2 and Claude Opus 4.5. And here's a fun one. On Vending Bench 2, where a model has to run a simulated vending machine business for an entire year, GLM5 finished with $4,432 in its account, putting it within striking distance of Claude Opus 4.5 at $4,967. It's literally running businesses better than some humans. Outro/CTA. Bottom line, GLM5 just proved that slime isn't a joke, and it's a revolution. 744 billion parameters, record low hallucination rates, 6 times cheaper than Claude, fully open source, trained on Chinese chips. This is China saying, we don't need your hardware, we don't need your closed models, and we're going to beat you at your own game. What do you think? Is slime-powered AI the future? Will Western labs catch up? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay on top of the AI arms race, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.